So it's another movie review roundtable. Today's movie, Splice. We made a mistake coming here to see this. I don't know what we're thinking.
I have high hopes for it. I think Adrien Brody generally does good stuff, and I like Sarah Polley. I think she's a good actress and she's very underrated, so I'm glad she finally got a big budget thing. So I have high hopes.
I am a big fan of the original Cube, which is the same director as Splice, and I also am a big fan of Adrien Brody and Sarah Polley.
I think it's iffy situation. I mean, I love the actors that are in it. I love sci-fi, but I'm still not convinced I'm gonna love this.
I feel dirty. I feel like I need a shower, like a long hot shower, and I need to curl up and cry on the floor of the shower. I feel really dirty.
I liked it.
And he feels dirty saying he liked it.
I did like it.
That was better than I expected. Or better developed story, better developed characters. It is still like a Species meets Frankenstein, you know, with modern sensibilities and rock star scientists. So at times it'd be a little bit over the top for me, but I was pleased.
I need to like let it sit with me for a little bit, because honestly I actually started to like, as we were going into it, I was like, oh, this isn't like some slasher nasty horror flick, like I kind of like it. And then the girl morphed into crazy psycho guy, and I was...
At first, when it started, I thought, oh, this is very like a movie I've seen 100 times. It's very cutesy, like Disney-fied horror movie. And then they went to the farm, and things just got weird and dark, and like it had this whole... developed this weird, creepy family where they were like, there was incest and mutilating of each other, and I was like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, throwing mommy dearest.
Yeah, it got creepy, but not in the horror, not the horror movie part of it. The little weird family dynamic got really disturbing.
That's actually kind of the thing I liked about it. I always kind of like things. Actually, a lot of horror movies that I like are the ones that kind of lull you into a false sense of security at first, and then they get really crazy. And I kind of thought that's what this did. It reminded me of The Fly in a way that it kind of like it tempered the far out there-ness, if that's a word, of it with some really believable performances. Like I actually thought the acting was really good, and they did a good job of like really making these people feel like, even though they were kind of a little too hipsterish, I guess, for being geneticists, I thought that they still grounded and made them feel like real people.
I have a hard time when I know, you know, somebody's gonna have babies at the end. Like that, right. I knew there was gonna be babies, so I'm just waiting for it to happen. And like, is he gonna make the thing pregnant? Is the thing gonna make the woman pregnant? Yeah. And so that kind of was a disappointment. I'm like, of course they went there, but
I thought it funny when the audience, when she stood up and showed she was pregnant, the audience went, I'm like, oh, come on, you guys knew.
2 minutes ago, of course she's pregnant.
Yeah, of course she's pregnant.
I kind of think that's another thing I kind of liked, is that I sort of knew kind of where it was going in places, but I wasn't quite sure how it was going to get there.
Like I remember watching it through the beginning, and there was a lot of scientific talk. I thought the director did a really good job of making me interested through music and through visuals, as opposed to just like, here's what we're doing.
The procedural aspects were believable, but they kind of were like thrown away. So yeah. you could buy that they were scientists, but you weren't like overwhelmed by all the jargon.
Right.
I think Sarah Polley and Adrien Brody are very smart actors, and for the first part of the movie I was like, I don't understand why either one of them was interested in doing this, because this is not a smart movie. But as it went along, I was like, okay, yeah, it's actually a very smart movie. Yeah.
Uh-oh, what's she gonna say? You feel violated?
It was so much. Like it was so unnecessary.
I feel like parts of that movie were kind of non-consensual for me. I feel like the movie kind of took advantage of me in a way.
Well, it's like it was at the end too. Yeah. So like you were like, at this point you're not gonna walk out.
I know. I was like, yeah.
Maybe I'm just disturbed because I kind of dug it. I like that they did. I hate it when they like toy around something but they don't go there. Mm-hmm. And yeah, the end scene where she's got me inside you, that line made me laugh. I'm like, whatever.
It is a little over the top for a mainstream horror movie, but I think like real horror fans will probably really enjoy it a lot.
previews, you think that the social commentary is going to be about, you know, cloning and genetic engineering and stuff like that, and that's not what the social commentary is about.
That was the surprise. That was the surprise. It really is about how we abuse each other. And because you have this thing that's not human, it's almost like it just intensified the dark side of all the characters. Yeah, it kind of exploded.
The more I'm thinking about it, I definitely think it's a movie I need to see again, even though I feel like I was violated. But I think, I mean, the fact that I left with this really queasy, uneasy feeling like I have just seen, you know, a pretty intense horror movie, but there's really not any blood. There's really not, I mean, a little blood, but not much blood, not much guts. It's very psychological.
Like about this kind of horror movie is that it depends on your attachment to the characters and the situations for a lot of the visceral impact. Like, you know, a lot of the, I guess, the scare moments would come off really campy and cheesy if you weren't already invested in the characters, and so that's something I thought I did really well.
I do think, I don't know, the director underestimated the girl who played Dren, because they kept doing all these cutesy things. Like, she made all these cute little noises and stuff that was just so over the top. Like, he just desperately really wanted us to really like her, and I think the actress did a good enough job with that on her own that all the little cutesy noises and stuff became distracting for me.
In a lot of ways, like a festival film, a very expensive festival film.
Right, because I think a lot of times in big budget horror movies it becomes about great shots and buckets of blood and look how cool our monster is, and there's no character. And in this one there was a lot of character development, there was a lot of story, and I mean, even I thought Dren was a cool monster. Not that she was really a monster, but she was interesting enough, but still very, very human, so that she could be an identifiable character. You know, she wasn't one of those.
I agree. The character design was rather interesting. Yeah.
I don't know what the budget was on this. I mean, I know it was a big hit at Sundance. I know that.
Oh, it was at Sundance.
Yeah.
There you go.
And
I would recommend it if you are interested in psychological horror films, because I think if you're just looking for buckets of gore and creature monsters, you're not in the right place. But if you like character drama, Mommy Dearest, Rosemary's Baby, Alien, like those kinds of horror psychological dramas, you'll like this one.
Yeah, I liked it. I think it's not something where, you know, things are jumping out of closets and you're going to be jumping a lot. It's much more of it's a very intellectual horror movie. I say, yeah, I mean, I feel dirty after watching it, but I say give it a chance, but don't go into it thinking that it's about what the previews make it look like it's about, because it's not. You're going to see a very different movie than you may expect.
I'd recommend it for horror fans because it is not Species.
Yeah.
I hated Species, and it's not Species. It's actually quite different than that, and I liked it. I thought it was good.
I don't think I'm going to say recommend seeing it. Actually, I think you should see it, but on DVD. I just don't know that it's worth the money to go see it. But again, maybe it's not my kind of movie. These guys loved it. I liked it, but I think I would have been just fine watching on DVD and going and seeing some other movie at the theater.